My ex wouldn't take no for an answer until the authorities stepped in. They say breaking up is never easy. But for me, ending things with Erin felt like breathing after being underwater too long. We'd been together a little over a year, and in that year, I'd learned what manipulation truly looked like. Erin had charm, sure. That's what hooked me at the start. But under the charm was control. Who I could see, what I could do, even the smallest choices like what I ate or wore were subject to her comments. At first, I mistook it for attention, but attention turned into surveillance. Jealousy turned into accusations, and affection turned into guilt trips anytime I wanted space. The final straw came when she showed up uninvited to my buddy's birthday party. I hadn't told her about it on purpose. I needed a break from her constant clinginess. But somehow, she found out, barged in, and created a scene in front of everyone, screaming, crying, accusing me of hiding her. That night, I drove her home, silent the whole way. When we got to her place, I parked, turned to her, and said, "We're done. I can't do this anymore." Her eyes widened like I'd slapped her. "You don't mean that." "I do." She started crying, grabbing my arm. "You can't leave me. You love me. You just need time." "No, Erin, I'm done. This is toxic, and I can't live like this." I pulled free and drove off. My chest felt tight, but there was also a strange lightness, like I'd finally taken off a heavy coat I'd been wearing in summer. I thought that was the end. I couldn't have been more wrong. The first few days were quiet. I blocked her number, unfollowed her on social media, cut off every line of communication. But Erin wasn't the type to accept silence. I started getting calls from unknown numbers. The first time I answered, "Why are you ignoring me?" Her voice, sharp, almost trembling with fury. I hung up immediately. Then came the texts, from numbers I didn't recognize, but the style was obvious. "You're making a mistake. No one will love you like I do. If I see you with someone else, I'll make you regret it." I blocked each number, but new ones kept popping up. It wasn't just calls and texts. She'd drive by my apartment. Sometimes I'd see her car idling across the street late at night. Once I caught her standing in the parking lot, staring up at my balcony. I told myself she'd get bored eventually, that she'd move on. But Erin didn't believe in moving on. A few weeks later, she showed up at my job. I work in a fairly professional environment, open office, glass doors, clients coming and going. The last thing I needed was personal drama bleeding into work. But there she was, waiting in the lobby when I came down for coffee. "Why won't you talk to me?" she demanded, voice rising. Heads turned. My coworkers froze mid-step. "I told you, it's over," I hissed, trying to keep my voice down. "You can't just show up here." "You're humiliating me," she cried, loud enough for the receptionist to wince. Humiliating her. She was the one causing the scene, but somehow I was the villain in her narrative. I guided her outside, all eyes on me. The moment the door shut, she clutched my arm, tears streaming. "I can't live without you. Don't do this to me." I peeled her off. "You need to leave. Don't come back here." She glared at me with a look I'll never forget, like she was memorizing my face to burn it later. That night, she posted a rant on Facebook about how I abandoned her, how I was a liar, a cheater, heartless. Friends of hers, people I'd barely met, started messaging me, cursing me out. I didn't respond. I just blocked. Again and again. But her desperation was turning into obsession. Over the next month, her tactics escalated. Flowers left at my door, notes under my windshield, emails from burner accounts, some begging for forgiveness, others threatening vague consequences. The lowest point came when I started seeing someone new. Her name was Jenna. Sweet, funny, calm, the opposite of Erin's chaos. We went out for dinner one night. Halfway through the meal, Erin stormed into the restaurant. She spotted us instantly, marched to the table, and slammed her hands down. "This is the girl? This is who you replaced me with?" Jenna's eyes widened in shock. The entire restaurant went quiet. "Erin, leave," I said firmly. "You're disgusting," she spat, tears in her eyes, parading around with her like I never mattered. The manager had to escort her out. Jenna sat frozen, her face pale. After that, Jenna told me she liked me, but she couldn't deal with the drama. She walked away before things even had a chance to grow. And that's when my anger solidified into something sharper. It wasn't just about me anymore. Erin's obsession was infecting my entire life, and I wasn't going to let her keep winning. I stopped blocking her. Instead, I started saving everything. Every text, every voicemail, every email. screenshots of her social media rants, photos of her car parked outside my place at 2 a.m. I even bought a cheap camera for my balcony, capturing the nights she showed up lurking below. At work, I told HR about the incident in the lobby. They documented it. A few coworkers even offered to give statements about her unannounced visits. For the first time, I felt like I wasn't playing defense. I was building a case. And I knew it was only a matter of time before Erin gave me the final piece I needed. It happened on a Sunday night. I was home watching TV when pounding shook my door. Not knocking, pounding. Open up, Erin's voice, shrill. I didn't move. I know you're in there, she screamed. You can't hide from me. I called the non-emergency police line, my hands steady for the first time in weeks. While I waited, Erin kept yelling. Threats this time. If you think you can just toss me aside, you're wrong. I'll ruin you. I'll ruin your job, your life, everything. Blue lights flashed outside 10 minutes later. 2 officers arrived, knocking firmly. I opened the door, relief washing over me. Erin was still there, fists clenched, face red from screaming. The officers separated us, taking me aside first. I showed them the folder I'd prepared. Printed messages, screenshots, timestamps, everything neatly organized. One officer flipped through it, eyebrows raising. You've been thorough. I knew this was coming, I said simply. When they turned to Erin, she tried tears. Then denial, then anger. But the evidence was too clear. That night, they issued her a trespass warning and filed a harassment report. It was the first step. I thought the warning might scare her straight. It didn't. She violated it within a week. Another late-night appearance at my apartment. Another barrage of texts. This time, the police didn't just warn her. They arrested her. Seeing her in handcuffs on the sidewalk, her face twisted in fury as the neighbors watched, that was the moment I felt the weight lift completely off my shoulders. The authorities processed the case quickly. With all my documentation, it was open and shut. A restraining order was granted, her record now stained with harassment charges. She tried reaching out through mutual friends, painting herself as the victim. But nobody bought it anymore. Everyone had seen too much. And me? For the first time in months, I slept without checking the window. Revenge isn't always about shouting matches or dramatic confrontations. Sometimes the most satisfying revenge is letting someone dig their own grave while you stand back with a shovel full of evidence. Erin thought she could control me with drama, guilt, and threats. She thought no was just another word she could argue past. But no became the most powerful word in my vocabulary. And when she wouldn't accept it, the authorities made sure she did. Now, when I think back on those nights, her screaming outside, her glares, her chaos, I don't feel fear anymore. I feel satisfaction. Because in the end, she didn't just lose me. She lost her freedom to harass, her credibility, and the power she thought she had. And I walked away free. Like and subscribe, share if this happened to you or someone you know.